Hello, welcome to the Sunday chat discussing the grading contest result for round one. Good morning, everybody. Uh, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and to my dad, which I will place a phone call after this chat is over. Um, Happy Father's Day to him. Okay, let me get things rolling here. And I'm all set. What you see there is the result of round one for those that participated in the contest. Let me go over the result. Good morning, Comic Noob. Here early, rise and shine. Okay, we have I think 42 players, but about a dozen people did not submit the grade. And as I explained before, if you did not submit your grade, you have an automatic -2. Um, but luckily, we did have 30 people that enter and submit their grading guess. And I had the result here. And as you can see, Magneto was right, as well as Grace Sainsbury is tied for the lead with 9 points. They hit, um, they both did in different way. Magneto was right, hit 3 bullseye, which gave him the 9 point, while Grace got 2 bullseye and then uh, 1 grade off on the other 3 books to get the 9 point. And um, Magneto was right, was actually one of the very first person to submit the guess the same day that the contest started. So um, he was early and he was right on 3 of the books. Uh, so congratulations to Magneto was right and Grace for doing so well in round one. The maximum point one can get for each round is of course 15 points, because each bullseye get you 3 points. So um, I highly encourage those that did not get a chance to enter the first round to go ahead and give it a shot. With grading, as with many things in life, you don't know until you try, and you never know if you have the skills for it. Many years ago, when I started out collecting 35, it's been over 35 years since I collected, started, since I started in this hobby. And it was not until about 8 years ago that I learned how to grade. So it's never too late to learn how to grade. And as I explained many, many times, learning how to grade is essential in this hobby. If you are into back issues collecting, if you are modern collectors, just want to enjoy reading the books, it doesn't matter, because you will never pay more than cover price for anything. But the moment that you uh, dabble into back issues and paying premiums or higher price and cover price for back issues, then grading is important, even if you are a low grade collectors. Okay, um, I have had some low grade collectors poo-poo on the idea that I need to learn to grade because all I collect is reader's copy. Well, I disagree. Regardless, as you can see here, the interesting fact about the results so far is, you know, there's a wide range of grading guesses for each one of the book, but the one that was the easiest for most people is book 2, which is the X-Men 50, and the hardest one was book 1 and book 5. Book 5 was the hardest one for most people. That one tend to get the most error or misses, and I will discuss more in details of each book, the reason why I gave the grade, and how some people miss uh, as far as the flaws on each of the books. But so far so good. you know, anything can happen in round 2 because, like I said, if somebody get hot in the second round, they can certainly jump from being in the middle of the pack to the top of the pack. And for those that on the bottom of the pack, do not feel discouraged. I can tell you that Reader 1717 was very brave to enter the contest, even though she knows nothing about grading, and I applaud her for playing. And I can tell you, she already did better in the second round. She already submit her guesses for the second round, and she did much better in the second round. One other thing that I want to point out is that you don't, you know, the hard deadline that I give as far as Thursday midnight is a soft deadline. If I wake up Friday morning and your submission is in my mailbox, I will take it, as long as the submission is received by me before I load the video for next round on Friday. So, you know, you have probably up until like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, because I usually don't load my video before 7 a.m. I just get up. So it's not the very first thing that I do in the morning. So as you can see, Magneto was right, Grace, and then right behind them is Andy and Jay Punish. Dead Clone, Cubanos, and Winer 49ers is up there. Big Bear Comics, Goomba, Space Baby, Half Man, Half Amazing, Reaper Tate, Louis Jewell, B2D, Steve Watson, By the Hoary Host of Hogarth, Sackings 245, Logan Edwards, Marvel the Cross, Jimmy C, Really Illy, Cosiconic Point, AG Surfer, Mason, Charles White, Lance, Jack Forrest Grove, Robert Finnofrock, Reader 1717, and King Cobra. Those are the order of all the players and the score for the first round. Okay. So once again, I want to say a big thank you for everyone that play in the submit the guesses for the first round. It's been fun so far. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the first round, and feel free to leave me messages or comment on what I can do to make it better, as far as you know, the scans. Is a scan too small, need bigger, or are the video of the books too short, need to be slower to give you a better look? I take any kind of feedback to make the contest more or easier, more fun and easier for people to follow. Okay, so the goal of the contest is hopefully get people to learn and improve their grading skills. Assuming that you think and believe I know what I'm doing. If you think that I suck as a grader, then there's no point on playing in the contest, right? But if you believe I know what I'm doing, then hopefully I can teach you something. But now that I revert to this view, let me go over the books real quick. The one that I mentioned is the hardest book for a lot of people and get the most misses is this one, the X-Men 24. I got guesses that go all the way up to 9.0 on this one, and it is a 7.0. And let me see if I can take the book out. The biggest flaw that a lot of people miss is the creases on the top edge of the covers. Okay. Maybe you can see in this view, but there are two. There's one right there. It's about 1.5 inches right here. And then there's one right here. Okay. It's about a 2-inch light. It breaks colors. Okay. If the color if the crease didn't break color at all, okay, I can see it, I would give this book probably at least an 8. But even though the crease right there is light, there you go, you can see it. It does break color. If you go back and watch the video again and pay attention to this right here, this 1.5" color breaking crease is what keep this book, as well as this one right here. There's 2 of them. So those 2 creases is what kept this book at 7 in my opinion. Now, can this book get a 7.5 if I submit to CGC? Sure. When it's come down to it, my advice to most people that playing in the contest or watching these contest video is, if you are within 1 grade from my guesses, I think you're doing great, because for those that are familiar with the way CGC grade on any given day, a book can be, 1 grade level up or down on any given day. And if you crack out a book and resubmit the book, there's a good chance that the book will be grade maybe 1 grade high or 1 grade low. Okay, it's not an exact science. So for those that are 1 grade off on these books, you're doing great. Okay, I would not, as a buyer or seller, I'm not gonna have any problem buying or selling from you. For those that disagree with my grade, then you would not want to buy the books from me. Okay, so that's that's the one, the toughest one, the one that got the people to be had the most misses. The next one that seemed to have a lot of problem for people is this one here, the first book. Okay, it's a beautiful book. Okay, it has a light, as you can see, there's a light bend here. There's none. For those that understand book pressing, this will be gone. It can easily be pressed out. Okay, so it's not a big deal. The top edges, the rest of the edge of this book is beautiful. Okay, the biggest flaw is right here. Okay, that's what keep this book 7.5, as well as the back cover. For those that watch the video, clearly you can see that there's a light sun shadow on the back, some light foxing on the back. Okay, but overall, the grade of this book, this right here, has very little impact on the book. Okay, if this was a near mint book, sure, this will knock it down from near mint. But at the 7 to 8 range, this right here is not the problem. The problem is right on the spine. Okay, this is quite a bunch of ticks and bend and flaws on the spine that you can't really see with the scan because of the white cover. Okay, the white cover hides a lot of the flaws on the spine, even though, as you can see, the in the green area you can see them, but in the white it hits a lot, and it's a tough book to grade with the scan. So the lesson is, when you buy books with the scan, white is tough to see the flaw on the spine. Okay, so hopefully that's a cautionary warning for those that trying to buy raw books on eBay with a white spine like this. But until you have the books in hand, it might not be as nice as you think it is, because the white covers will hide a lot of flaws. Okay, let me put this one away and then take out the other. Okay, down. Now the one that most people did very well on was this one, the X-Men 50, 9.2. Quite a few people nailed it, and then there was some that was way low, in the 8.0. I think the lowest guess I think I got on this one was like an 8.0. It's a beautiful book, and the biggest flaw is by you can't see it. The biggest flaw is somewhere here. If you go back and watch the video, there's like some light creases, some light tick, spine tick by the lower staple. Okay, right here, and then there's a little softness on the corner right here. But other than that, this book is beautiful. There's a few minor small spine tick as well, but I would have no problem buying or selling this as a 9.2, none whatsoever. And it wouldn't shock me if CGC give this a 9.4. But for me, 9.2, easy all day long. Okay. For those that graded lower, you must have seen something that I did not see, or you may have seen flaws that you thought was flaws or creases that did not exist. Okay. Okay, let's see what the other two is. I think this one, surprisingly, people did okay on it, is this one here with the subcrease. Okay. The subscriptions crease is not bad. Okay, it's here. And then back, it's not a hard subscription crease where, it's worse. So it's not as bad as some subcrease. And I have seen books like this in a slab with a 6.0 grade. I have seen it. I would not agree with a 6.0 grade on a book with a subcrease like this, but CGC had got, and the book that have a 6.0 grade in a slab was a little bit nicer as far as the rest of the book, but this book here is a fairly sharp book. It would have been easily 7.5, okay, because the spine is pretty nice and the edges and corner. It's just that it's just so to me, giving it a 5 is a fair grade. But could this be, could CGC give this a 4.5 or 4.0? Maybe. Okay. On any given day, anything can happen. But as far as higher than 5, I really don't think there's a chance on that, because once again, for those that understand pressing and wonder what can be pressed out, you see this light crease right here. Often people ask me like, Nick, what can be pressed out and what can't be pressed out? Guess what? This color breaking long vertical crease, that cannot be fixed. Okay, but this run right here will be pressed out. Okay, easily. It's not color breaking. A quick press will remove that little line right there. Gone. Okay. Morning, Scott. Morning, Kasikan. I did not look what you guessed on this one, but if you did guess a 5, you got it right. Okay, let's go to the last one. The last one was this one. I think this one is fairly easy, in my opinion, because it's nothing really glaringly big. It's just a general flaw. This is one of those books where there's no let me take it out. Less clear that way. Okay, this is one of those books that didn't have like a big like creases or anything. It's my kind of 7.0. Okay, when people ask me like what flaw do I don't mind, is here. Okay, this one has a ton of spine wear. Okay, not huge, but you can see it if you watch the video. There's plenty here that will not get this book above an 8. And then if you add in all the wear and softness on the edges, The edge is not razor sharp, but it's lack of any kind of major long creases or big creases. So overall, the overall softness of the book on all the edges is what keep this book at a 7. Can this book get a 7.5 by CGC? Sure. I don't see this book going 6.5, but as far as you know, the chance that the book can be 7.5, absolutely. On any given day, CGC can be generous and give me a gift grade. But so that's it. I hope my explanation of the grades in the book made sense. But if you disagree, feel free to voice your disagreement. That's the kind of grade I like in my Bronze Age. Yeah, you know, for me, sure, I have mentioned that 8.5 is my sweet spot, because you know a lot of 8.5 books look fantastic. You know, I don't need near mint to be happy. No, I don't need 9.4, 9.6, 9.2. To me, 8.5 books that are 8.5 that are missing an inch corner crease of is sweet. I hate when dealers trying to sell you book with a missing chunk and say it's highly desirable because it is a key. Well, you know, dealer is gonna hype. Okay. One of the things that dealer use often is the eye appeal is high. Have high eye appeal. Now, I understand the term eye appeal, but when you give me a low grade book like a 2.0, 3.0 that are beat to shit, there is very little high eye appeal to that. Okay, even if it is a mega key. Sure, if you show me a raggedy Action 1 that are 2.0, awesome book. I'm not gonna dispute if it is an awesome book or not, but it's hard for me to tell anyone that that's a book with high appeal as far as visually. Okay, most books that are 2.0 or lower are going to have some serious flaw. Serious flaw could be cover completely split, huge tear, big stain, you name it. You don't get to be a 2.0 without major problems. So whenever I hear the term high eye appeal on a 2.0 book, I'm like, tame down the hype. Adrian, you say, I would say plus or minus 0.5 would be in the range. 1 point would a bit too much. Yeah, you know, CGC has, like I said, with the way people have improved on pressing, I have seen many cases where, you know, people can buy a book, press it, and get 2, 3. I have seen people getting, you know, the sweet spot for pressing is not trying to press a book from a 9 to a 9.4. Can that happen? Absolutely. I have seen people pressing book that go from 9.4 to 9.8, but the sweet spot is, you know, getting a 5.0 book and press it up all the way to like 7.5, because many of the big flaws can be removed and eliminate. So as far as, you know, yes, high eye appeal book is dangerous. Okay, you know, not that I don't use the term high eye appeal. Each one of us have a different interpretation of what is hot, what is sexy, what is beautiful. Okay, sure. In general, we have a certain things, just like in women. Okay, us men in general have a look that we think is hot, but then there are guys that like thin, there's guy that like curvy, there's guy that like long legs, you name it. There's all kind of things that make it high eye appeal for us as far as women. And the same thing with books. Some people will look at a book that are low grade but have a white, clean, whitish uh, paper quality, and they call it high eye appeal. Okay, I'm one of those people that enjoy seeing a nicer, whiter, higher quality paper compared to something that is yellow, tan, brown. So it's hard for me to look at a book that are yellow, brown, and tan and say that it's high eye appeal. I don't care what the grades are. Okay, if the grades can be, it could be an 8.0 book, but it's like you really yellow and brown and tan. To me, that's not high eye appeal. But in the same book, someone that prefer high grade books and don't care about the yellowing and tanning would say, "Oh, that book have high eye appeal for 8.0 or whatever." So it's all relevant to each of our own tastes in the end. I just know that for me, I don't, as I mentioned in the last chat, I don't pay attention to sellers' advertisement. Sellers can say whatever they want, high grade, strict grading. Oh, I don't need to name any sellers on eBay, but there's a seller, a pretty popular seller that uses the term strict grading. Oh my God. His grading on eBay is anything but strict. What a complete pile of garbage of grading, okay, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, not a fan of that seller at all. And so I try and avoid strict grading, super rare, vintage, all kind of hype nonsense that I see on eBay on a daily basis. Because at the end of the day, I let these things, as long as my eyes are working, I am not going to go with anyone else's opinions on a book. And I think that's the best approach for buyers. My advice to, you know, collectors and buyers for a long time is, A, learn how to grade, and B, trust your own grading skills when you want to buy a book, because ultimately you have to be the one that determine if that book is fairly graded, to be able to decide if the price is right, because price is directly connected to the grade of the book. I can't say this enough. I don't understand people that are just like, I'm just like, I collect low grade, so I don't give a shit. Last I checked, even a 2.0 Amazing Fantasy 15 can cost you thousands. So unless you are just like, I just collect low grade, non-important books, then yes, that matters. But when it comes down to, low grades keys, it matters. Even for, not big keys. It can be $5, could be $50. It matters, So to me, it's so essential to the hobby that, and it boils down to why CGC and CBCS are so busy, even with all the controversy, even with all the problem with the new slabs at CGC. This is why they are so busy, because a lot of people, either don't care to learn how to grade, but want to buy high grade books, or they want to buy a certain grade. Okay, not every grade slab buyers are high grade collectors. A lot of people that buy mid grade books, that buy slab as well, because for them it's easier to go on eBay or go to any auction house and buy a slab book, instead of like trying to figure out a fair deal on eBay, and Guess what? Guess who benefit from that? CGC and the people that know how to grade. Okay, the people that know how to grade will take their chances on eBay buying undergraded book, slap them, and then make a profit. So at the end of the day, if you are unwilling, unable to learn how to grade, then you are just putting money into the pockets of people that are actively buying raw books, slap them to sell them to you. End of the day, that's how the market works. So don't hate CGC, don't hate CBCS or any grading company for their existence. They exist because they are a demand, and the demand are driven by a lot of people that I think would benefit from knowing how to grade, because the less people need a third party to tell them what the grade is, the less the need of CGC or CBCS, right? But people, like I said, there's a lot of people are just not in the habit of learning or trying. Okay, not everyone can grade, but you gotta try to find out if you can grade. Brooke is here by the horror host of Hogger. You did okay, Brooke. You did okay. So good luck on the second round. And I forgot to mention, you are allowed all players. Really Illy, hello, Brooks and Really Illy. Well, if you need to go back and watch the first 10 minutes, because I show the result of the contest. The first 10 minutes, I show the result, the score of all the players, and explain the book, why I give the grade to each book. So if you miss the first 10 minutes, you can either come back and watch it later. After this chat is over in about half an hour, I will end the chat in about half an hour. But the result is in the first 10 minutes of this chat. So what I will do also is perhaps load the result so that people can download, okay, if they want to see that, since a lot of people don't watch the chat. A lot of people that play in the contest do not watch any of these chats to know any updates. I mean, I have people that just play the contest and don't pay attention to anything that I announce on any other videos. Really Illy, I'm doing fine. It's Sunday, it's Father's Day, so it's all good. I need to, like I said, I plan to normally I hold a Sunday chat at 11 a.m., but today is Father's Day, so I want to do it between 10 and 11, so that at 11 I can call my dad and wish him a happy Father's Day. My dad is doing better. For those that know his condition, his spirit is much better. I mean, he was really down. I think when you get sick and faced with mortality, it was rough on him the first month. And but since then, he has go to physical therapy 3 times a week. He has improved. His spirit is better, and the big news is my uncle, the brother of my mother, is coming from Vietnam to visit, and I am super happy. My dad is super excited. This is my favorite uncle, and I have not seen this uncle in since 1980. Okay, since I left the old country in 1980. So you betcha, I'm flying to Boston when he is in town for a whole month to visit my dad. I think, everyone feel that the end could be near. when you're 81, when you're over 80, things happen, and you can be gone, you can go to sleep and never wake up. So I think a lot of people, a lot of friends, relatives is making extra effort. Like my uncle has not visited my dad in America since he came here in 1991. My dad had come to America in 1991. He has been here for 25 years. My uncle have never visited. Uh, my dad has went back to Vietnam and visit him twice, but knowing my dad condition, he's making a special trip to visit. So for the first time since 1980, I will get a chance to hug my uncle. He is awesome. He was my favorite uncle growing up, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to meet my uncle, um, my long lost uncle since 1980. So it will be awesome. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm super. If there's anything that is super exciting for me um, in the next few weeks and months, would be my visit to my dad uh, and hang out with my uncle. It will be awesome. He is my uncle's not that young either. He's in his 70s. I don't know the exact age, but I think um, he's a younger brother of my mother. Uh, so if I have to guess, I would say he is probably 75. Okay. He's coming alone. He's coming alone. Um, he's not bringing his wife or kids. He's have wife, kids, grandkids, all that stuff. He has a whole clan back home, but he's coming by himself for the whole month. And so that is super exciting for me. I heard the news 2 weeks ago. My dad broke the news to me 2 weeks ago that the uncle's coming to visit, and without hesitation, I told my wife we are going. Okay, without hesitation, I say adjust all our schedule, school and work and whatever, because we are taking a special trip to Boston to visit the family. Out of the ordinary, as far as usually we come up there during my dad's birthday or Thanksgiving or Christmas, but this year we're doing a special trip at a different time because my uncle's gonna be there. As far as today, Father's Day, um, my wife will take me to a movie. There's a new movie theater opening up in Sarasota where it's fine dining and movie with big recliner seats. Okay, so I cannot wait. We're gonna go see a movie. Uh, it's kind of this movie theater is fairly new. My wife had been there at least once. Dad clone, how you doing? My wife has went to this movie theater. The dinner is like $15 to $20. Fancy dinner, and then the movie. The movie and dinner will cost you easily $25, if not 30. If you drink a few glass of wine, it could cost you $40 per person. So she had went there, but I have never been there. But it's kind of stupid because it's a policy. They only allow, I think, 18 and older after 6 p.m. show. It makes no sense to me why they had a policy of not allowing younger kids in shows after 6 p.m. They serve alcohol and beer and all that stuff. It's like a restaurant, like. So in order for all of us to go, my son, all that stuff to go, we have to go to an earlier show, and the only show that we can go to today at lunchtime is going to be Finding Dory. The choice is slim. It's not like a typical movie theater where you see a lot of choices, but there's Finding Dory, there is CIA, and then there is something else. It's like there's three movies, and at the end of the day, I told my wife, let's go see Finding Dory because it's a Pixar movie. Most likely we will enjoy it more than CIA, even though I like The Rock. Yes, so I'm gonna get the chance to go see that movie and see the fancy recliner seat and eat lunch there, whatever they're gonna serve there. So that's gonna be my special Father's Day thing this afternoon. After I talk to my dad and we head off to the movie and lunch at the fancy movie theater. For those of you that live in town that have this kind of fancy movie theater, let me know what you think. I'm surprised that this concept has not caught on faster. I can tell you, if for those that live in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon, you have been blessed with this kind of entertainment for decades. When I lived in Portland, Oregon from 1994 to 2000, one of my favorite places to go is the McMenamins movie theater. It's a McMenamins is like a micro brewer. They have, I think back then they have 3 locations. Edwin Hernandez, hello. Yes, thank you. Happy Father's Day to you too. If you are a father, if you're not, you will someday. But in Portland, Oregon, they have multiple brew, bar, pubs, awesome beer, awesome food, great place. I hang out. I go to McMenamins in Portland, Oregon, at least once a week with my buddies for beers. And they have 3 movie theater that serve food and beer. You had to be 21 and older. Okay, so I love going there. First of all, it's not first run movie, so you have to wait a little bit to see the second run movie, and they would charge like $1 or $2 to see the movie. But in one theater, they have just pizza. Okay, so what they did, what they bought out the old movie theater, you know, the fancy one with the balcony and all that stuff. But what they do is they remove every other row, and then they put like a little bench so you can put your food on the bench and watch the movie. And so in one theater, they serve nothing but pizza. Okay, so you can have pizza and beer and watch a movie. And they do a lot of old movies. Like they would show, Rocky Horror Picture Show. They would show Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, a lot of classic movie, Ben-Hur, you name it, all kind of classic stuff. But it's fun, hey, this is before the days of Netflix. Okay, so you if you want to go see Star Wars again or Raiders of the Lost Ark, you can go see it on a big screen with a picture of beer and a pizza pie with 2 or 3 of your friends and have a good time. Even James Bond, they play the old classic James Bond movie, but it was a lot of fun. So one had nothing but pizza, the other one has sandwiches, okay, and then one have burgers, okay. But so depending on what you like. If you're in the mood for pizza, you go to one theater. If you're in the mood for burgers and fries, you go to another one, or a sandwich, chip and salsa. It's awesome. So I was shocked that concept did not take off sooner. Yes, Edwin. The one that you have in Tampa is the same one that just opened down here in Sarasota. Okay, we have one in Sarasota that just opened, I think, a month ago or 6 weeks ago. It's definitely less than 2 months. And my wife went there like the first week with her friends. One of her girls' night out to check out our movies. So it is slowly. The only thing that I don't like is, it's fine dining. It costs $15 or $20 or whatever it is for a movie. Even, well, maybe with Groupon is less, but I like the idea of beer, pizza, burger. Simple. And you don't need I don't need lobster. I don't need filet mignon. I don't need scallop and all that stuff. Give me a good burger and some fries and I'm good to go, right? I'm sure many people will agree. I'm happy with a $10 burgers and fries with salad. Yes, it's and my wife is raving about the seat. She said that the seat is the most comfortable seat that you can recline, kick back, and enjoy. She's told me maybe we need to bring a couple blanket because we might just fall asleep in the chair. Yes, I agree with Kazukan. Yes, it's like going first class. I'm going first class today, first class instead of coach. But beside that, we are in. You know, is it me or this summer movie is kicking off really slowly? Usually when summer is here, you're talking, June, July 4th, you expect some big blockbuster movies and all that stuff. And for some reason this year, it seemed kind of mute. It seemed kind of boring. Seemed like all the big blockbuster is already out. Or am I missing something? Seem like, the movie business had changed so much where, in the past they would cram in all the big action movie in the summer, but now you have action movie that came out in March, April, early May. Is in many ways I understand the movie business on why they do that, because when you're having all the action movie coming out in June or at the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, then you kind of compete against each other. So now they kind of spread it out. Even Star Wars, right? Star Wars is going to release movie now every Christmas instead of like in the summer, because it's a smart move. And that move, Star Wars, can thank Lord of the Rings. Okay, for those that remember the Lord of the Rings series, okay, those movies were not released in the summer. Okay, the original trilogy of Lord of the Ring was released in December, if my memory serves right. It's like Thanksgiving weekend or something like that, where like late November and early December, where that was released. So the original Lord of the Ring trilogy are the big movie that kind of blow things apart in December. So summer is no longer reserved for blockbuster action. It becomes December. So and since then you have seen big movie getting released around Christmas time. And now Star Wars is gonna do that every Christmas. Yes, Civil War and Batman spoilers. Yeah, I mean, for sure. We are barely mid June, and I'm already like, is that it? Is that all the blockbuster summer movies I'm gonna see? Damn, it seems so few. But yeah, I mean, Batman versus Superman and Captain America definitely did change the way I think about summers and big blockbuster, because now we're barely a few weeks into summer and I'm already say, is that all? Yes, Harry Potter's were the same thing too. So those were the time, when the first few movies of Harry Potter's and Lord of the Rings came out, the trilogy. Those 5 or 6 years was pretty awesome. I mean, I enjoy December and Christmas those years very much, because you have great movies playing. You have Christmas season. It's just fantastic. It changed the way I feel about December for sure. Yes, I agree. Disney have two franchise, and I think Disney is gonna keep the superhero franchise for the summer, spring and summer, and then they're gonna go with uh, the Star Wars in Christmas. Okay, I think the success of not that they can replicate the same level of success with future Star Wars movie is the Force Awaken, but still, you know, I fully expect most Star Wars movie to do at least 800 million, if not a billion, maybe not 2 billion like the Force Awaken, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big every Christmas, and hopefully it won't suck. Yeah, Deadpool. I think Deadpool has decided to come out every February. After they come out February with the original Deadpool around Valentine's Day and did so well with so few competition, I won't be surprised at all if Deadpool will repeat that. Why not? Why not come out in every February uh, with little competition? Competition make a big difference. You don't want. Imagine if Batman vs Superman came out a week before Civil War. I think the number for Batman vs Superman would have been a lot worse if they had to face that competition the next week. Okay, because it will suck up a lot of people away from going to see Batman vs Superman. That being said, uh, really Illy asked, did I like Rogue One trailers? I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. When the original ideas, when I first heard that they're making Rogue One, I hated that idea. Okay, I'm like, good God. Just like I hated the idea for a Han Solo movie, just like I hated the idea that they want to do perhaps a Boba Fett or young Yoda. I To me, the Star Wars universe is so big as far as the future that you can make so many movies. Who say that we need to do a trilogy with the current cast of Ridley and Finn and all that stuff? Why would we need to stop after 3 movies? To me, it's just like all these actors are young enough to be in 5, 6 movies in the next 10 years. So the idea that I understand why Disney is doing what it's doing. Okay, it's gonna milk this $4 billion cow until it's get its money's worth. So yes, I understand what they're doing, but I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it that they had to go back and do a young Han Solo. But back to Rogue One. When I heard of Rogue One, I was not happy at all. To me, it's just money grabbing, greedy Disney crap. But after I saw the trailers, I was okay. Okay, I won't say that I'm excited, like, oh, I can't wait to see Rogue One, but I'm okay with that. I will go see the movie for sure. Not that I didn't plan to go see the movie before, but now I am more likely to go see it maybe the second week instead of like the fourth week. For sure, it's not a movie that I think I want to go see the first week. I'm not that excited about it to not like the Force Awaken where I saw it the very first day. Okay, with Rogue One, I'm like, yeah, I will go see it maybe the second week where the crowd is a little bit less crazy. Hello, King Cobra. Star Trek. Yes, I am mildly excited about Star Trek now that they came out with the better trailers instead of the stupid Beastie Boy trailer. That was horrendous. Whoever thought that the Beastie Boys and Star Trek will go together need to be bitch slapped a few times. What do you think about this new comic book movies going to R rating due to Deadpool success? Um, I don't really hate it. I just think that as movie maker and publishers, they gravitating toward whatever people are buying. Okay, whatever is hot, pop culture, in whatever is hot in pop culture, or everyone try to exploit that until it's over. Okay, it's nothing. It is what it is. Just like The Walking Dead. Once The Walking Dead TV show was a success, guess what? We have multiple shows that is on different channel, as well as movies. So money will always flow toward whatever is hot to try to make money, to make more money. Sean, hello, Sean. Yes, it's trying to capture, and that's, I think, what's has been the biggest dilemma with the publisher, is that they have, for the most part, abandoned the youth of America, the youth of the world, as far as comic book, because at $4 or $5 a pop, it's not the 9-year-old that's gonna be buying books off the rack. Okay, it's the speculators, it's the investors, and it's people that adult readers that want adult things. Whenever the hobby has changed so much in the past 30 and 40 years that maybe I save this for another chat, maybe this Wednesday, because it's almost time for me to go. I promised my dad that I will call him at 11, so I need to go soon. Sean asked a question. What's my feeling toward Stan Lee's signature label? Another money grabbing nonsense. Do I love Stan? Yes. Do I think Stan should enjoy his remaining years instead of traveling to conventions and sign 1,000 things every weekend? I think he can stop. At this point, does it matter to make another $50 per signatures? Okay, so it's, to me, it's hard to fathom people needing Stan's signature, because on any given time you can go on eBay and find thousands of items with his signature on it. So it's not rare. And so if CGC can make a few extra buck, it's sad. It's sad that it's all about the extra buck or two. Forget about trying to fix the slabs. That's the bigger problem, but it's a money-grabbing, greedy company, okay? Yeah, I said it. It's a money-grabbing, greedy company. Yes, I said it. Let me repeat for the third time. CGC is a money-grabbing, greedy company. There. Is it clear what I think of CGC? But in defense of CGC, they have always been a money-grabbing, greedy company. This is not something new, okay? My view of CGC has not changed 5 years ago or today. It has always been a greedy company that like to take money hand over fist. This is why they take money up front before providing any services. God, the silliness of it all. And people are willing to hand over money, hand over fist. Take my money and hold my books for 3 months, please. That's it. Yeah. Okay, well, folks, it's 11 o'clock. I have to run. Okay, I need to run. So much appreciate for everyone to tune in and ask some questions. For those that are playing in the grading contest, go back and watch the first 10 minutes. The result of the grading contest is in the first 10 minutes of this live chat. And good luck for those playing in the second round. And before I go, you can resubmit your guesses as many times as you want until the deadline is over. So if you submit your guesses early and you have a change of heart tomorrow, feel free to resubmit your guess to me. I am okay with fixing your score if needed, but my belief is your first guess is always your best guess, okay? I have never altered my grades on any grading contest because I find that my first guess is my best guess. And that's it. Time for me to go. Bye. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And even if you're not a father, say thank you to your father, because without him, you would not exist.